this is and have Kidd Riot join us. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you doing?
Oh, not so bad. Just sitting outside my work on top of the building.
On top of that makes me nervous because went back and watched some of your videos today, and I watched you jump off of a school bus.
So let me give a quick explanation about that whole story. At that point, I had just had back surgery 2.5 months before that.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking, and I said, man, I kind of want to jump off that bus. And everybody in the match was like, you should probably not do that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's probably a good call. And then I did. So, yeah, that was a thing that happened.
And you'll forgive me for the shirt, won't you? I mean, I know he kind of tried to steal your mask at the last MVW show, so...
What shirt are you wearing? That's unfortunate.
She also put him over to the moon earlier, so...
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, but I'm also kind of known for stirring the pot, so it's okay.
Kind of.
So fun story about him. He legitimately, we did an angle where I was going to come around this corner and he was going to hit me with a chair, and I forgot about it. And so everyone's walking with me to the back, and I see him out of the corner of my eye, and I kind of like wave everyone to like walk away, and turned right around, and he just smoked me with it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're good. We did this. But yeah, there was a brief moment where I had forgotten about it. And like, there was a group of people following me to the back, and I had to be like, no, F off.
Get away.
Right. Exactly. Cause like we're filming something, and like, I need you to not be standing there while he smokes me with a chair.
Oh, Lord. All right. So first two questions we usually start our interviews off with. 1, who did you look up to as a wrestler growing up? And 2, how did you get into the business?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of names because one, I can never do just one. I'm sorry. My fandom will never let me do it. So if I were to give you like 3, I would say Ultimo Dragon, who is tattooed on my arm. Not that you can see that very well on this, but Ultimo Dragon, Dynamite Kid, who we have talked about on I was gonna say, yeah, we've talked about him off interview.
Yeah.
And then probably Jake Roberts, honestly. Those were probably my big 3 growing up.
Jake made me cry.
Yeah. I met him once. This was years ago. This was probably about 6-7 years ago at a Comic-Con, and I was wearing a T-shirt which I can no longer wear because it no longer is appropriate with the current climate. But he popped huge for the T-shirt. It was in the theme of the old I Heart New York shirt, but it did not say New York. It said 2 words that both start with R and used to be kind of a negative term to. There we go. Yep.
I know. I bet it's what Jack Vaughn's shirt says.
It may be. I don't know if he has it, but
he has a shirt that says support your local ring rats.
Okay, so. Yeah, this one said I heart ring rats, and Jake Roberts thought it was awesome. When kind of everything was happening in 2020, I was like, you know what, I should probably get rid of these because this is going to end up with me getting in a lot of trouble, and I don't want that heat. So I got rid of a lot of those shirts.
I have a Tracy Smothers shirt that I cannot wear in public anymore. That probably ought to go into retirement.
Tracy was one of a kind. Let's say I can definitely say that.
I love Tracy.
He loved me, and then he hated me, and then his last couple of years he absolutely loved me again. So we had a great history. Even when we weren't getting along, we were never like super negative to each other.
Yeah.
I was looking. Where's it at?
What was your other question? You said you had 2. You asked me how I got into wrestling.
How did you get into the business? Yep.
So, little dark story here. I used to have a bad problem with putting stuff up my nose, and didn't pay rent for 6 months, which of course gets you evicted. So I moved in with my dad because I had to get my life back together, and there was a wrestling show like 30 minutes from the house. I went, I watched it, and I said, "Oh, I want to do this because I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to wrestle."
Right.
So I went to their school the next week and started training, and then kept learning and kept doing it, and then got retrained, and then got retrained again, and here we are.
Makes sense. There it is. That's the picture I was looking for. That was last year.
That's tremendous. I love that.
No, that was this past year. This was
I love seeing him do so well now. It makes me happy to see.
We go to Squared Circle Expo. We'll put that over to the moon every time. Actually, this was back in March, end of March.
Yeah, my brother and my nephew go every single year. They love it.
Oh, we love it. So yeah, he was there this past year or this year. So, but I told him, I said when I was younger, he made me cry because of the Macho Man spot.
Oh yeah, the snake bite.
Yeah, and so lo and behold, guess what? Picture 8x10 I got that he signed for me and said, "Sorry, I made you cry."
That sounds like that's awesome. I bet he
wasn't sorry.
He wasn't sorry.
No. But that, I love that, and I love him doing. I love that he's doing so much better now. That makes you don't want to see your childhood heroes struggle. So to see him doing so much better now makes me so happy.
Yeah. It's great. But all right, Reb, your turn.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm fairly new to seeing your work. I think it was right around 01. The night that Camaro killed DLC was the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
So you can't talk to the kid, tell him not to blind tag the big muscular guy in the middle of the match.
I mean, listen, he did that on his own. Like I've tried to talk to DLC, and DLC is his own animal. That kid is going to do whatever he wants, no matter what anyone tells him. That's just the way he is. You know, the few experience I've had with him, he just does it. I will say with that match, I twisted my ankle during the heat of that match. So there's probably very obvious when you see me immediately start limping in the middle of the match and nothing happened to my leg and I wasn't like selling a spot. No, I twisted my ankle and I was like, well, I guess we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, we just remember going, why did he just, okay.
Yep, yeah.
2 or 3 times too he did that.
Yeah, he's brave. Maybe not the smartest decision, but it was definitely a brave decision.
Do we chalk it up to young and dumb?
Yeah. Or it's Bobby Heenan used to always say, the young and the useless.
Yeah, that's true too.
That was a Bobby Heenan quote.
All right. So what are all the independents or some of the independents that you've been in around the area that people might recognize?
Okay. So, well, with that being said, I have been around since 2000. It sounds awful. I honestly don't know. It's either 2004 or 2006. I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
So I wrestled for years and years and years before I got, this guy here. So, and no, I won't give you my other name because then everybody will know how not pretty I am under this mask. But
it's not easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I was wrestling, there was really no when I started, there was no wrestling in Champaign area. It was Decatur, Springfield, and Peoria, and those were the only central, and then obviously Chicago, St. Louis, but like those were the only central Illinois promotions. Was 2 in Springfield, 1 in Peoria, and 1 in Decatur. And I started at the Decatur company called Great American Wrestling, and then worked with one of the Springfield companies, 3CW. But like that's when I started. There were I remember when 01 started as SLW. I want to say it's SLW. Someone may correct me. But that's when 01 very, very first started.
Hey, Jim Roberts is putting you over, just so you know. He said,
I love Jim. Jim is one of the people that I will never have a mean thing to say about. Jim is incredibly quick. He knows that I am got a tiny bit of an ego. I know a wrestler with an ego is shocking, but Jim knows that, and Jim is so quick to produce and send me my matches on Dropbox because he knows that 2 hours after the match, I want to watch it. Uh-huh. And Jim is king of knocking it out in a day or two, just so I can feed my little ego and not annoy him with it. So all the love in the world to Jim, because the quickest way to get on my good side is send me my match footage before I ask for it. Like, you'll be right in my heart forever. I am that type of guy.
I say Jim sends me a lot of wrestling from NWR.
NWR, yes.
Yeah, he sends me a lot of that. So I'm always like, Jim, help!
Yeah.
I can't make it to the show. Help me out.
That's actually true. He's saying that he LOL, but that's true. I have asked before, like before the show's over, I've asked, hey, do you have my match uploaded yet? Like as a joke, but I have asked that before. So he says LOL, but that's not a joke at all. I am that guy.
Just because he's laughing doesn't mean it's not true.
That's absolutely. But no, so like, yeah, what I said, I remember when wrestling first came to Danville with New Breed and all that. So like a lot of the feds that are around now, I remember when they started. And it's crazy to me, like how much wrestling has changed since I started. Not only just as the number of companies, but like the business as a whole, you know. It's unfortunate to say, but when I started wrestling, you know, some of the more non-traditional gimmicks were only comedy. And now, thankfully, you know, like I remember we had a guy who did a very flamboyant gimmick, and it had to be comedy. You know, it couldn't be serious. Now we are so much more inclusive as a industry, and that makes me so happy. Like it's crazy to see though, because like, for traditionally homosexual gimmicks or trans gimmicks were considered not serious and you couldn't take them seriously. And now we're so much more inclusive that wrestling is just, it's American wrestling has caught up to Lucha Libre as far as being inclusive. And I love to see that, because you did not see, when I first started, you did not see that at all. It was taboo, and, you know, but American wrestling has finally started to catch up to the rest of the world, because, you know, I'm going to talk a lot about Lucha because that's, you know, my heart and soul. But like, Lucha Libre is the most inclusive art I've ever seen in my entire life. And to see American wrestling start to catch up and understand that genders, sexual orientations, all that, none of that, you know, does not matter as long as you can go in the ring. That's the important part. And to see American wrestling catch up to everybody else and have that same mentality, I love seeing that. It makes me so happy. So yeah. Longest way is pretty much anywhere that has existed, I probably have done at least one match for.
Hey,
Reb, are you going to ask him about New Breed? Because you know a guy that used to be at New Breed.
I do know a guy who used to be a New Breed.
Who do you know?
Do you remember? My original co-host on this show was a guy named Mike Nargelinas, but he wrestled as Pain Train.
Oh, I know Pain Train. So let me tell you a Pain Train story.
Oh, please do.
Please do.
I met Pain Train before New Breed. I met him in Jason Vendetta, Jason V, Brian Henderson, however you know him. I met him in Brian's front yard when Brian had a front yard fed. He didn't have a backyard fed. He had a front yard fed. It was called, I think it was actually called Front Yard Federation. And that's when I met Pain Train. And now, mind you, I haven't seen Pain Train in, oh God, at least 10, 15 years. But like, that's when I met him before. I think I was still in training when I met him. And that was pre-New Breed even. So yeah, I know Mike.
Yeah, he was the original co-host on here. I'm just the replacement, as he reminded me a whole bunch Friday night.
He did.
He had some cocktails though.
Well, you know, that happens to some of us.
It does. I always tease him that he needs to come out of retirement for one more match, but I don't think it's going to happen.
He says that, but you never know.
It's true. You never really know.
Nobody really ever retires from
the only time I've said it from the jump. The only way you retire from wrestling is when they put you in a body bag.
But not for a match stipulation. Like
not for a match stipulation.
You see, you might not be able to see it. There's a body bag right there.
Yeah.
And we've had two guys in.
Well, I was hoping to put Mikkel Murphy in one after Saturday or Sunday.
You don't need a very big one.
We'll see how that works out for him.
We call him Michael.
Michael, Mikkel.
We know it's Mikkel, but we call him Michael.
That ugly-haired kid.
Yeah, that kid.
You just have to you don't need a very big body bag for Mikkel.
Well, it doesn't have to be very wide because he's so skinny.
Right.
You know what? You might be able to use this one, but we'll have to actually, like, the zipper's broke on it. So
We'll just duct tape it.
you can blame Carrot for that.
When in
Carrot's
doubt,
the
use
one that
duct tape.
broke it. So
I tend to blame Carrot for a lot of things, so
it's probably a good idea. That
I
seems
see
to work
him
out
fairly often now, so I tend to blame him for it. Me and him actually started something last night where instead of going, "Hey, how's your day going?" we just give each other the finger, and that's code for, "Hey, how's your night? Hope it's going well. Good to see you."
It's good to have a shorthand.
Yeah, at this point, it's just easier. I remember when he had long blonde hair and pretty gold trunks, so that's how long I've known him.
Yeah.
Was that 24 karat Jimmy
That was
Carrot
20.
numbers?
Yeah, that was 24 karat, trained by Harker Dirge. It was going to be Harker's, first trainee. I believe he may be the first person Harker trained, or definitely was the most prominent one. I know that.
Yeah, I knew he had. I was looking because you were talking about flipping you off, and yeah, that's Reb flipping Jimmy off
yeah.
back in my
That's
picture.
yeah, that makes sense.
You can't prove that was me.
Yes, I can, because the picture previous to that is your face in the background.
Oh, damn it!
Well, it is what it is. It's fine. He'll appreciate the middle finger.
All right,
yeah.
so I'm going to ask, because I know that you've been around a lot of the independents, especially here lately. Who are some of the new up-and-comers that you've met recently that you think that you're excited to see where their career goes?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to give you 3 people, 2 that are probably maybe unknown to you guys, maybe not. The first one is, and he was just there Sunday. I do not know his last name. Zay? Is that his?
Zay Gates.
Zay Gates.
Yep.
I flat out pulled that kid aside and I said, "Man, stay healthy. Don't get an ego, and you got a bright future." And I mean that. If he stays healthy and keeps his ego in check, that kid has got a bright future.
Yeah.
The other 2 people I'm going to put over is AMB from. He's kind of. I have nothing but love for Austin. I think he's got a lot of great potential. He's a good kid. I remember when he was training, and you could say, "Hey, I want to try this," and he'd be like, "Okay, cool. Go ahead and hit me with it." Just great attitude. And then the third one is Kidd Riot from Chicago. I've teamed with him a little bit. He has not made it down here, although I will link you guys a match he did, a 4-way he did with me and Austin and another guy. Young kid, I mean, very young, looks very small, has such a good heart, has all the potential in the world, very talented. I love him like family, but he's got a bright future. And those 3 are like 3 that there's a lot of great talent around here, and it's just gotten better these last couple of years. But those 3 are like people that I genuinely will watch their matches, because generally I don't like watching matches. Yeah, agreed, Jim. I agreed. Generally, I don't watch matches live because I'm usually running my mouth, which, is very obvious. I know, shocking. Usually I'm running around, running my mouth. Usually I watch, if it's a really good match I want to watch, then I will watch it. And if it's a really bad match that I want to watch, I'll watch those. But anything in between, I usually don't watch. But those 3 guys, I would watch their matches if they were on the same card as me.
Did you happen to catch Cobra's match Sunday night?
I did.
Poor Rico, out of love, we gave him Stooge of the Week because we told him he was an idiot for sending his guy to the back.
I said, I hope this is I turned to Dalton Davis and I said, I sure hope he listens to Cobra and just pays attention, because that is going to decide if Rico has a very good night or a very bad night.
Yep.
Because I've known the Cobra for a long time, and I can tell you, if you listen and do what he tells you, Cobra will make you look like a star. If you don't, Cobra, can I cuss on here?
Yes, you sure can.
Okay. If you don't, Cobra will beat the shit out of you.
Yes, he will.
I would say with a smile on his face,
but he will beat the shit out of you.
I said, with a smile on his face, if he smiled.
Absolutely. And I say that out of love, because Cobra is one of the guys that I genuinely have love for and just love being in locker rooms with.
Yeah.
But he'll beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, he will. He's one of our really, he's a friend of the show. He actually did our 01 artwork for us. So
nice.
With CP Arts. So yeah, he's done a lot for us.
Yeah, another just great guy. Man, he is one of the guys that I will say I will never understand why he is not on TV.
Right?
I will never understand that. That seems like a missed opportunity by every company in the world that man is not on TV.
I just remember popping when he just kicked Cecil in the face at the hybrid at the gimmick table. Just after the show was over, just Cecil was walking up to him. Cobra just laid him out.
Cecil. I'm going to say this, and I hope he doesn't get offended. I hope he understands this comes from a place of love. Cecil is my favorite dumb puppy. Because Cecil, hear me out. I'm going to get a nasty message in like 5 minutes. I know it, but hear me out.
He's not watching.
Cecil, yeah, that's true. He ain't. Cecil is loyal, and he is good-hearted, and he's someone I genuinely love. But I know eventually Cecil's going to piss on the carpet. I know that. Metaphorically. I mean, I don't think he genuinely pees on carpet.
I would hope so.
Metaphorically. And I say that out of place of love. I love Cecil. I've known him since the day he started wrestling. But occasionally I know I'm like, man, I know you're going to do something dumb. I know you are.
Yeah.
He's in the process of right now canceling all my upcoming bookings, I'm sure. After I said that.
When Cobra kicked him in the face, he didn't do anything. He just walked up to him.
Yeah. None of the story surprises me.
No. Hey, we got a question for you, by the way.
Yeah, what's up?
Our buddy AJ threw this up. Says, I remember you used to team up with a guy named Geronimo. Any chance of an Air Force One reunion?
Oh. So here's the thing. I would love that. About once a month, I message him and I go, hey, brother, ready to come back? So for those who do not know, he suffered a extremely nasty injury. He was going for a Spanish fly, and he slipped, and his foot got tangled in the ropes, which was a blessing because had it not, he would have went headfirst straight to the concrete floor.
Ooh.
But unfortunately, when he did that, it tore some of the ligaments in his knee, and they are not healing. He is a single. So outside of wrestling, he is a single father of 2 beautiful children. And his mentality is, I have to be able to provide for my kids above all else.
Absolutely.
So is there a chance of an Air Force One reunion? God, I wish. I hope every day. Literally once a month, I message him and ask him, hey, how's your knee? And I know the answer, but realistically, we will probably, unfortunately, not get that. However, if we ever do, best believe everyone and their brother will know because I miss working with him. My favorite person on the planet to wrestle and my favorite person on the planet to wrestle with.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. Second place is not even close to him.
I would say it's Reb. I know Reb said he saw you wrestle the first time at 01. I didn't. I actually caught you at one of the Springfield promotions when you were with Air Force One. So I remember Geronimo. I remember watching you guys fight All Eyes on Us and those guys. And so, yeah, I was like,
well, so now I know which Springfield show you were probably at. Was it was it in Kincaid or Springfield proper?
It's in Springfield proper.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, no, but
yeah, that one.
Okay. Well, I can talk about him. I don't care. I'm never going to work for him again. Who cares? I get asked once. I get asked once a month if I've ever considered coming back. The answer is forever no.
Yes, I don't blame you.
And here's the thing. So really what it boils down to, it's not even that the negative stuff aside, which is very not cool. There's not a whole lot of people there I really want to be in the ring with. I'm older now. I'm going to be 43 in November, so I'm a little picky with who I wrestle. And if the money's not really good or if it's not going to be really fun, I really don't want to do it.
Right.
And unfortunately, neither one of those things match up with that in that area. So that's why I primarily don't wrestle there or want to wrestle there.
Yep. I totally understand that.
Minders, is that the promotion we don't talk about?
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I had a lot of fun when I did work there. One of my favorite matches was myself and Geronimo against Johnny Polk and Clayton Clark in that building. And I had an incredibly fun time there in that match, but it's just not something I would look forward to doing again.
Yeah. Now there's another one that I think that I know Reb and I both enjoy seeing what he's up to, and that's Clayton Clark. We just
Fuck Clayton Clark.
okay.
Brother, no, I'm kidding. I talk to Clayton every other day. But it is my favorite thing to do is to shit on Clayton. I love him. He's one of the guys that I'm always happy to see in locker rooms. But him and Carrot, if they ever get successful, I will be the guy on Twitter going, I don't know why they hired this guy. He's the shit. while I'm in the back telling him how much I love him and hugging him, and because like I love him to death, but I also know that like occasionally you just got to tell Clayton go fuck himself.
There you go.
It's the Don Rickles mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Dead on.
Yes.
Yeah, literally, I told Carrot Sunday, I said, hey, I want you to know, I know you're getting a lot of big opportunities, and if you end up on TV, I'm going to get on Twitter and talk about how they made a terrible decision hiring you.
And he said, please do.
He laughed and hugged me and said, I hope you do. And I said, cool, because I'm not kidding. I'm going to shit on them for hiring you.
So I do want to ask you about a match that I watched on the YouTube today because Minder sent me some homework for this. Oh, hello.
And there's Noodles.
I was wondering when she was going to show up.
Stay on track because I don't know how long he has to talk
Yeah.
to us.
No. What's your match? Go ahead.
Well, I watched the match that you had. It was yourself teaming with Super Crazy against Christian Rose and Geronimo.
Yes.
And I'm a big ECW guy. We've had a few ECW folks on here. But would you not hit me in the face with that? But no, talk a little bit about teaming up with Crazy because he was always a fun one to watch.
So I have had 2 opportunities to team with him. Once in Peoria for that match you're talking about, and then we did a 6-man tag where it was him, myself, and another guy against Connor Hopkins, Berna, and Deshaun. And I can say this: I love working with Crazy. He is someone I met randomly I met him that day of that match with me and him against Rose and Geronimo. That's the day I met him, and we instantly bonded. We spent 12 hours together in a car going to Wisconsin, and he just, he will tell you that his Japanese is better than his English, which is true, but like he also doesn't realize that he is actually pretty good at English, and he can speak English fluently as long as you are patient with him. But Crazy, I love that man. I miss him no pun intended, but I miss him like crazy. He is bouncing between Japan and Mexico and occasionally the U.S. Someone I have never ending love for. I have nothing negative to say about him at all. He has bought me food a couple times just because, he's just a genuinely good guy. He's a great guy to learn from. I know there is a area promoter that does not care for him, and I hard disagree with that promoter. I don't know that promoter. I've never met him, but I've read stuff online. But Crazy is just a good human being. He's incredibly funny. You don't realize it until you're talking to him. I watched him do a seminar, and in the seminar were a lot of bigger, heavier set guys. And, he could kind of plan to do a lot of lucha type stuff for the seminar because, if you're going to learn from a guy who's done it all lucha wise, you should probably learn some lucha. And him trying to like rack his brain to figure out how to get this 400-pound guy to do back rolls. Comedy is never going to die in wrestling as long as we get stuff like that. Because he looks at me and he looks at Geronimo and he goes, what do I do with them? Fuck, brother, I don't know.
Okay, Rep, this is sad, but all I can picture is Sam Stackhouse standing in the seminar.
Hey, Sam could do a moonsault. I think
I'm going to say
fine.
Sam would have a chance to be well. Some of these guys that he was working with,
KLD might have issues.
He was doing like he was trying to do oh my God, I can't remember the spot he was trying to teach him. And I just looked at him and I was like, brother, that ain't gonna happen.
That's so fun. Yeah, we've had because we had Jack Victory on, we've had him on, we've had Just Incredible on. We've had so much fun with Just Incredible.
We had Fonzie on a few times.
Can you please tell Just Incredible that he owes me a freaking match?
Sure.
Does he know that?
No, but I mean, he might. He probably doesn't remember. But he was supposed to work. There was going to be a triple threat. It was going to be their heavyweight champ, the company's heavyweight champion, Justin Credible, and me. And I was in the match, so that way Justin didn't have to get pinned, and that way the champ didn't have to drop the belt. So I was going to be pinned. And I got to the show, and it was a show I really didn't want to work. I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But then Justin didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I didn't want to work this show because I don't want to work for this promoter, but I really wanted to wrestle Justin because I was a giant ECW mark as well.
Right.
And Justin didn't show up, and I was pissed. So Justin owes me a match, whether he may not realize it, and it'll probably never happen, but Justin owes me a match.
Okay. Menders, make a note.
All right, making a note.
We're supposed to get him back on at some point.
We're supposed to have him back on.
Please wrestle me one time, Justin Credible. That's all I ask.
All right, I got it.
I bought his I Hate This Town t-shirt because I was a giant ECW mark, especially that last leg era when he was like on top and all those guys and like Danny Doring and Chris Chetty and all those guys. So like, no, Justin Credible, I want a match. I don't care if it's 6 minutes and we do 2 minutes of wrestling and 4 minutes of gaga bullshit. I want my match.
There you go. But yeah, let's see. Oh, okay. So here's another one of our questions. Is there any move in the ring that you don't want to take? Or that you refuse to take? Oh, yeah.
And here's the Muscle Buster, and here's why. I've taken one Muscle Buster in my life, and it shot so much pain through my back that it is now I'm not taking that shit move.
Who gave it to you?
Oh, his name is Richard. I know he still wrestles, and I know he doesn't do it anymore. And I'm pretty sure he just stopped doing it after that match. So I'm not going to throw him super under the bus because he is a friend. But his real name is Richard, and I will never take that move ever again from anyone. Fuck that.
Does he go by Dick by any chance?
He does not. He does not. But he gave it to me, and like especially now that I've had back surgery, like I'm not taking that shit.
I don't blame you.
But the rest, I don't care. I mean, it also depends on who's giving it. Like, I don't like taking pile drivers, but there's like 3 people that I'm like, I'll take a pile driver for them any day of the week because I know it's going to be safe.
Right.
Is Carrot one of them?
What?
Is Carrot one of them?
Carrot's never hit me with a pile driver, but I would take one from him because he's never hurt me on anything. I've wrestled him 3 times now, and he's never hurt me on anything. So yeah, I take one from him. If he ever was like, "Hey, can I hit you with a pile driver?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." But like, I think even the one time that he hooked me for one, we did like a reversal spot out of it. So, but yeah, I take one from him. He's one of I trust him.
Did he try to do that when he got? No, I was trying to think how he landed in the thumbtacks up at New Version.
Oh, he took the border toss and then a choke slam. Okay, so I'm gonna break the fourth wall and tell you guys a story about that match because it's funny to me.
Okay.
Well,
so
Menders was there. So.
I was there.
Yeah. So the gear I wore that night, I wanted to retire that gear, and I was like, well, if I'm doing so I spend a lot of stupid. I'm a gear whore. I say this. I literally ordered another mask today that I do not need. So I'm a gear whore. But that gear that I wore for that match, I was like, well, if it's a street fight, I'm gonna wear old gear that I can retire after it.
Right.
And I was like, I haven't done deathmatch shit in forever because masks are expensive, gear is expensive. I'm not fucking up my gear. Right. But I was like, if we're gonna do thumbtacks, I'm gonna try to get some color. Like, fuck it, why not? We'll tear this mask up. I'll get a little blood. It'll be fun. So the spot was supposed to be. He gets that border. Limbo gets rock bottom of the tacks. Then he gets the border toss on the tacks. Well. Right before he gives the board toss, he's supposed to hand me the blade to cut myself because I didn't have tape or anywhere to put it. And he's like, "I got you, bro." So he forgets to hand it to me. So I lean over to Napier. I'm like, "Hey, bro, tell Carrot I need that gig." So Napier picks him up, drags him over the corner. He hands me the blade. Napier goes, "Well, I know the next spot, so he's got to be back in the tax," and proceeds to give him a unnecessary choke slam back into the thumbtacks.
Just to get back in position where he needed to be at.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
to me, it was hilarious because there were so many easier ways to get to that spot without doing that. But the fact that Carrot was like, yeah, I don't care. Go ahead and chokeslam me into him. And the fact that Napier was like, well, you got to go back into him. Hilarious to me.
I have a lot. I hate to admit that I have like blood on sweatshirts from Carrot from when he's done his death matches.
I used to have a shirt when I wrestled without a mask. I had a shirt that I would only wear for death matches because I just wanted to keep adding my blood to it. It was an all white T-shirt, and I would just keep and I had white shorts I wear, so that way they could just be my bloody death match clothes.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah,
so hey, we talked about ECW earlier, and I want to tell you guys this quick story. I don't know if you hear that motorcycle, but it is loud as hell.
Yeah, it is. We can hear it.
Anyways, so I was asked how I would feel about teaming up with Rhino. So I love Rhino. He is just a genuine, beautiful human being. I am, sorry, I'm doing math in my head now. Almost 8 months sober from alcohol. Rhino is also a recovering alcoholic. So nothing but love for Rhino. So I was asked, hey, how would you feel about wrestling? How would you feel about teaming up with the Rhino and wrestling Jake Christ and somebody else? And I was like, absolutely. I love Rhino. I'm an ECW guy. Sure. Yep. So then we find out the day before the show that they cannot have fans in the building because of something. I don't know why. So I had the matches online, but it's me and Rhino against Jake Christ and this other guy, 747, in front of 2 fans. And, you know, obviously I'm going to take the heat because it's me and Rhino. Rhino goes, brother, there's 2 fans here. I don't care. They can just beat me up for a while and you can come in and be the hero. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you, but that seems like the worst idea ever. And then I realized, no, there were 2 fans, and Rhino, that was Rhino's way of saying, we're not going to do much because there's 2 freaking fans here.
Yeah. I was say we've met Rhino a few times. He's been at the Squared Circle stuff. So yeah, he's been at the expo. He
is nothing but the absolute sweetest human being on the planet. I know. I mean, when you see him in the ring, you're like, no, that man's terrifying. But no, he is a sweetheart. We did a show and they had a lumberjack match, and as a joke, I said, hey, Rhino, you going to come out and be a lumberjack? Ha ha. He's like, yeah, sure. Why not? Well, then halfway through the match, we realized that there's these 2 green kids, and they're not using the lumberjacks at all. They're just having a match.
Oh, no.
So I pulled my phone out of my pocket, and we start watching Avengers Civil War or Captain America Civil War, whichever one that is. So somewhere there's a picture of me, Brian Smith, and Rhino at ringside watching Captain America Civil War while a lumberjack match is going on.
I love it. That's great.
That's like when me and Arj were watching WrestleMania at the Fozzy concert.
Yeah. They were at the Fozzy concert watching WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think I saw dozens of phones out because this is in a little bar in Aurora. And I saw like the light off of like multiple cell phones in the crowd. Like I could tell that's what everybody was doing.
Yeah, like why? How you gonna? First of all, Mr. Jericho, how the hell are you gonna have a concert same night as WrestleMania?
Right.
And did he expect to not have a lot of wrestling fans there? That like,
I mean,
I'm saying.
He's not the brightest crown in the box, but whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But yeah, no, like I said, I was so excited because like I said, I remembered you from Springfield area. And then when I saw you come to 01, I was like, oh, we've got to get Kidd on the podcast because he would be so fun. He's been around. Actually, we have Oliver Kane coming on next week, which is something we haven't announced yet. So
okay, so can I give you an Oliver Kane story and you should ask him about it?
You sure can. I've got my notes ready.
Ask Oliver Kane about teaching me how to face bump.
Why does this sound like a terrible idea?
So first of all, I reffed Oliver Kane's second ever professional wrestling match while I was training. Okay. And he took a nasty Canadian destroyer and was concussed. So I called his entire match to him, while the match was happening as the referee because he was knocked. The lights were on, but nobody was home. But so he helped train me a little bit originally, and I struggled hard to learn how to face bump. So Oliver's big plan, and please ask him about it anyway, because he tells the story so much better than I do, was I ran the ropes until Oliver felt the need to trip me.
Oh.
And I did not know when the trip was coming, but eventually, as I was running the ropes, Oliver on the outside of the ring just yanked my foot from underneath me and let me eat shit face first into the mat. So
Okay,
please ask him about that, because he tells the story so much better than I do.
Okay. In my head, I had him standing in the middle of the ring, and he was just stick his foot out while you were running.
No. He was outside of the ring, and as I would hit the ropes, he just when he felt the need, he just yanked my foot out from underneath me.
Sounds like something he'd do.
Yeah. So please ask him about that. Like I've known Oliver for frickin' ever. He actually may know when I started wrestling, because I know it was a few months after he was.
Do you remember who he was fighting when he got concussed?
His little brother Joe.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was his little brother Joe who wrestled, I think, for about a year and then stopped. But it was his little brother Joe, and so he gave Joe a Canadian. And this is, mind you, this is when the Canadian was brand freaking new. Like, only Petey Williams was doing it, only on TNA. So he gave Joe one, and then later Joe gave him one, and he was out. Like, he was still moving, he was still wrestling, but he'd be like, "Hey, where's Joe?" And I'm like, "Punching you in the head." Or he'd be like, "Hey, what's the next spot?" "Joe's gonna put you in a hold and call it to you." "Okay, gotcha."
Wow.
When do
I remember when.
Is this the finish? Yeah, this is the finish. Fuck it. Like,
right.
You have a concussion. Yeah, you have a concussion. Go the fuck home early. Not Oliver. Oliver was going to do all those spots they had planned.
That doesn't surprise me. No,
not at all.
Yeah. I'll say, I remember when Petey started using the Canadian Destroyer, and the only other person I knew of that ever did one, and I didn't see it, my friend told me about it because he went to a Streamwood show for NWA Midwest back in the day, and he saw Scott D'Amore do a Canadian Destroyer.
Well, it's probably who fucking Petey learned it from, or Petey taught him. Yeah, because they were boys forever.
Yeah, Scott's very nimble for a guy of his proportions.
He had a fucking tag match less than a year ago. It was him and Eric Young against somebody on a TNA pay-per-view, and Scott's out here doing Shining Wizards and all kinds of shit.
It was Bully and Macklin, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yep. And like,
that's
Scott's out here doing Shining Wizards and shit.
Jeez.
Scott's one of the few people in wrestling I've never met that I would like to.
Oh, I would love to have him on here sometime.
He's not doing anything right now. You might want to ask.
Well, he's restarting Maple Leaf Wrestling. I don't know if you heard that.
I saw that. I did see that. Yeah, I forgot. He is doing that, yeah. Which is awesome, because I know like a lot of good talent came out of there.
Yeah. Well, I know the first match I ever actually saw him have was TNA, him and Bobby Roode against Rhino in a handicap on pay-per-view.
Bobby Roode, man, that's a guy. Should have been main eventing everywhere constantly.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like a glorious combination of Arn Anderson and Ric Flair.
Oh my God,
No pun
yes.
intended.
Yeah, he has the work rate of Arn and the charisma of Flair. He really does. That's probably the best description I've ever heard anyone say about Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah. And he had Terry Taylor's robe.
Fuck. Speaking of Terry Taylor, I attended a Terry Taylor seminar, and he's talking, he's asking, towards the end, he's like, anybody got any questions they want to answer? One of the guys, his name was Dewey, looks at him and goes, "I loved you as a Red Rooster."
Oh.
And Terry Taylor, without missing a beat, without changing tone, goes, "I fucking hated that."
Yeah.
In the most nonchalant, calm voice possible, just goes, "I fucking hated that gimmick."
Yeah.
I would be curious what he hated more, the Red Rooster or the Tailor-Made Man from WCW.
See, I like the Tailor-Made Man, though. I would taken that over fucking the Red Rooster.
Yeah.
Well, I am a fan of wordplay, so I was okay with it. But he borrowed DiBiase's suit
Oh yeah, no, he was literally. If DiBiase was $1 million man, the tailor-made man was the $1,000 man by far.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Minders. I think we've kept our guest for quite a while here, and yeah, I know you said you're at work, so we're not going to keep you.
I don't care. Fuck this job.
All right.
Wait, we're talking wrestling. Let's keep going. I like it.
Yeah, like I don't care.
See, we've always been suckers for road stories. So
yeah.
what's a good? Tell me more road stories. I like road stories.
Okay.
Well, let me ask this: how long have you known Jordan Perry?
Since the day he started wrestling. I was supposed to wrestle him and we didn't get to, and I was actually genuinely sad about it. This would have been 10, 12 years ago. I was supposed to wrestle him and Scotty Keys in a tag match, and it did not happen. And I was like genuinely sad about it because I love Jordan's wrestling. And this is, I mean, him and Scotty were a really, really good team. But you asked about road stories. So can I tell you about the best/worst show I've ever worked?
Yes.
Please.
So this is up in Chicago for a company. This is legitimately the name of the company. It's called Alpha Bitches of Domination Wrestling.
Why did AJ not come up with that one?
It was out of the they did one show out of the Chicago Rose, which is a BDSM club in Chicago.
Oh my.
Yeah, brother. Oh, brother, it gets better. The locker room had a had a paddle bench that you could use to paddle people. It also had a bed, like a go to sleep bed in the locker room. The sheets were originally white. They were no longer white. And the show was supposed to, it was supposed to be like 10 workers, and they were going to have like 4 singles matches and a tag match or some shit. I don't remember. And night of the show, everyone backs out except for 4 wrestlers. So now you have 4 wrestlers on a show. Jason Pemberton is the only referee on the entire card. He's the one that got me the booking. I will never forgive him for getting me this booking.
Why does this not surprise me at all?
Yeah. The show was supposed to start at 7. At 7:15, they said, hey, we're going to hold off because so far we've only got 1 fan in the building.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
So at 8 p.m., an hour late, the show started in front of a sellout crowd of 2 fans. The opening match is me versus some kid. And so, mind you, for the record, I was like, I can already tell this is going to be a joke. So I'm not going to like put my name on this. So I worked a new gimmick under a new mask as the Sexecutioner. And my entire walk to the crowd, I just kept screaming, who wants syphilis? I say crowd, but again, it was 2 fucking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Members, keep that in mind when you have to make a sign for Kidd Riot at the next show you're going to.
Yeah. Sexecutioner is my favorite wrestler.
Or just who wants syphilis.
I will take, who wants syphilis? For the record, I don't have syphilis. Just want to put that out. STD clean. I get checked every 3 months. Just throwing that out there now.
Now, this wasn't the show where Rhino was getting the heat.
Yeah. So, I worked the first match and the last match of the show. The first match was against a kid. I have no idea his name. I said, hey, what do you want to do? And he starts telling me WWE wrestlers and the moves they do. And that's the moves he wants to do. So instead of like going, hey, I want to give you some chops in a German, he said, I want to do like a lot of Gunther's chops in Germans. Yeah, exactly. I agree, AJ.
Finally got our spit take.
Yeah. And the match is just trash, but whatever. So then the main event, it's me and Mitchell Taylor. I want to say King Mitchell. I want to say he's from maybe Ohio. I don't remember. He's like, hey, I don't want to squash you. So what do you want to do tonight? I said, brother, I'm going to be honest. I'm ready to leave. So I would appreciate if you just squashed me in this match. We can go less than a minute. I'm okay with you just beating the dog shit out of me for like 50 seconds and then hitting me with your finish. And he's like, oh, I don't want to bury you like that. I'm like, no, brother, I would appreciate it if you would.
It's
I just
okay.
want to go home.
Right.
And sure enough, 50 seconds. We did about 50 seconds of wrestling. He took one bump. I think I took 3. And then I was like, probably about time to go home, don't you think? And he goes, sure enough, picks me up, hits me with the power slam, and we get the hell out of there.
Oh, that's
they did not
great.
run another show ever again because, well, when you sell 2 tickets, you're not running again.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're not. Hey, Reb, I know you said, can we run through Sunday show or Saturday show? Sunday
Yeah,
show with
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Because Reb and I were both there. Let me see if I can pull the card here real quick. Reb, talk.
Oh, yeah, I'm.
While you're looking that up, I'll tell you a quick story about these tattoos right quick. So
All right.
I have on this arm here that you cannot see very well, I have Ultimo Dragon and Mean Gene Okerlund tattooed on there.
Mm-hmm.
So when I showed the tattoo to Ultimo, he was so impressed. He took a picture with me with it on his phone because he was like, oh, that's so cool. Someone has a picture of me tattooed on their body. And then 3 months later, I met Gene Okerlund, and this is 2 weeks before Gene passed. And I said,
Oh, wow.
hey, I know, right? I was so blessed to meet him. I said,
Yeah.
hey, I got you tattooed on my arm. And I show him the tattoo, and the photo is him clearly having a look on his face like, why the fuck would you tattoo me on your arm? Like, Ultimo was impressed. Ultimo was like, oh, that's so cool. Mean Gene is like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why would you tattoo me on your arm? He didn't say it, but I'll send you guys the photo. You can see it in his face where he's like, this is a fucking thing that exists.
All right.
We got to see Ultimo at the expo. He wrestled Nick Nemeth on the show.
Oh, that'd have been good. God, I want to find that match. That'd probably be pretty damn good.
That guy has not lost a step.
If I find it, I'll send it to you because it was really good.
Please do, because I love Ultimo. Like I said, he's one of my biggest influences.
Well, and then Reb got to meet Jushin. Jushin
Oh
was
my
there.
God, I'm fucking jealous of that.
Yeah,
I'd kill to meet Liger.
then
I got to talk to Nemeth after the match he had with Dragon. I was like, how was it working with him? Because that was their first time ever, and he's like, it was a day off. So,
I'm sure it was easy and smooth and fun.
Oh yeah,
I had a lot of fun. I got to meet the Nation of Domination minus The Rock, so I was an excited little
you were Owen.
I was Owen in my picture.
That's awesome. So wait, when you say you met the Nation, who all did you meet? Because like now I'm invested in this.
I met Mark Henry. I met Ron Simmons. I met D'Lo.
Let's see if I have the picture.
Yeah, do you have the picture?
I'm looking.
I fucking love D'Lo.
Okay, so story about D'Lo. Okay, first let me ask, are you a corny guy?
A what guy?
A corny guy. Are you a Cornette fan? No,
I am not. I am not. And mainly because I've met Jim Cornette. I have purchased a T-shirt from Jim Cornette, but Jim says a lot of things that I'm like, maybe not the right time of the world to be saying that shit. So I do not subscribe to him because a lot of times he says things, and I'm like, that's not okay, bud.
Yeah. Well, I don't agree with him on some things, but there are some. The way he looks at AEW right now just makes me laugh all the time. So, it is what it is. But so anyway, we go in there. Oh, Papa Shango, that's the
fuck!
Yeah,
I was not a Godfather fan, but I've loved some Papa Shango.
Well, that was the other one. So that's the Nation we met.
Hell yeah!
And I was really excited. But anyway, so I walk in there, and I have this little knack of always trying to rattle up because there's a lot of AEW fans that go over there.
Of course.
What do I do? There you go. I'm Owen.
That makes me so fucking happy. That's fucking beautiful.
So I'm Owen, but yeah, and D'Lo comes. He saw my shirt because I wore the Lazy Booking shirt.
Yeah.
And he saw my shirt and he says, "Hey, by the way, I'm a corny guy." And I was like, okay, he's going to be here tomorrow. And I brought my other Cornette shirt, which is a thank you, fuck you, bye shirt.
That's the one I bought from him.
Is that the one you got?
Yeah, it was stolen by a woman in Omaha, Nebraska, but I did buy that shirt.
But I wore it the next day, and I get over there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go meet D-Lo and all this stuff. So I went over there to go meet him, and he goes, I'm taking a picture of that and I'm sending it to James. And I was like,
awesome.
You're what? I fangirled out so hardcore. It wasn't even funny. But yeah, I was gonna show you because I have that picture with, the member with Godfather or what he was dressed as Godfather there. But this is one of my favorite pictures.
That's fucking cool as shit. That's cool.
So that was a lot of fun. Made friends with Jim Duggan's wife while I was there, so that was a lot of fun too.
Jim's good people. I've met him twice, and both times he's just been an absolute sweetheart.
And then that guy was a lot of fun to meet.
Who is that? I can't see.
It's Coco. Coco Beware.
Let me tell you a quick Coco story, and then I want to run through this card. I was on a show with Coco in 2008, maybe 2010. Coco made them play his theme 7 times in a row because the crowd was into it.
Pile driver?
What?
Was it Pile driver?
No, it was like something I don't fucking know what it was, but it was some song about the bird, and I'll figure it out. But like he played that shit 7 times in a row and made every member of the goddamn crowd dance with him. So at this point, he's like, it's a 3-minute song. He's played it 7 times. At this point, he's been fucking in front of the ring for 20 minutes. I think he did like 6 minutes of wrestling, and he was like, well, fuck, that's almost a half hour. We're good, brother.
Did he have a bird with him?
He did not. But this is when he was truck driving, so I don't think you can have a bird in a semi.
No, probably not a good idea.
All right, so let's talk about part of this card.
All right.
By the way, I'll throw this up real quick. Here we go. There's my picture.
Oh yeah, there's your.
I'm fucking jealous. That's bad as fuck.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not to mention he stood in line. How long did you stay in line for Sting?
About 3 hours.
I don't blame you. That's like I wasn't a big Sting guy, but if you're a fan of him, you should definitely wait in that line.
I'm not a big Sting guy, but I had to get my belt signed. I've got the WCW World Title. I got Sting, Luger, and Ron Simmons to sign it that weekend.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. But all right, well, let's start this card. So let's start off. I think it began with Jordan Dye and Tyler Scott. Yeah.
I don't know much about Jordan. I love Tyler, but Tyler gets on my fucking nerves sometimes.
He's a good kid, though. He's a
great kid. He's a great kid. He needs to just relax, though.
Yeah.
Just breathe, brother. Just breathe.
He can go a little strong sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes. Let's see. Then of course, was your match with Michael. Or Mikkel. I guess I'll say his name right. We kind of already talked about that one.
Dickhead punched me in the dick and then stole my mask.
Yeah, what an ass.
I know, right?
Right? Then was the triple threat, maybe, I think it was.
That was, I think the next was the elimination match with Joey and Zay and all them.
Oh, it was like that big ass scramble?
Yeah, that 6-way.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay, so you like Zay. We know you like Zay. Who's the other one that was in there? Because there were 6 of them. There was
David
Joey.
Light.
Who?
David Light, one of the tag champs. He was.
Okay.
Don't know him very well. I love Joey though.
Christian Cash. I like his character a lot.
Yeah.
I have not. He's another guy I don't know much about.
I don't know much about him, but. Oh, AJ, we love you.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking tremendous. Sorry, I just read that.
Come hang out with us sometime, kid. I think you'd have a blast.
I'm stealing that next time I wrestle him.
Corey McHenry, and then Kenneth James.
Unfortunately, it's not. I can't share much of that because I don't know many. The only people I know are Zay and Joey, but I love those two. I love their work.
Well, we always joke because we do the 0-1 Shootout podcast also, and my whole thing is Joey and I are on a truce right now because I did not like. Everybody else seemed to love him, and I hated him. And it's like I've never like. That's just how it works. We have this truce going on though that I have to be nice to him for now. But I always
go ahead.
just but I steal his cowboy hat and his cowbell every time he's in a matchup there, and I'm like,
You stole his baby once.
I did steal his kid once. His
He,
kid attached to me one time.
I have only wrestled Joey one time, and it was in a 4 corners tag match, and he went to dive on everybody, and I was like, I'm going to stand in the back. So I stood in the back, and the heel of his shoe scraped the bridge of my nose. And at the time I'm riding in the car with Limbo, we go out to eat. This fuckhead does not tell me, brother, you got a big like rug burn on the bridge of your nose. So I'm sitting in this restaurant with this giant rug burn from Joey O'Reilly's shoe. I go to the bathroom and I realized, and I was like, this fucking asshole's let me walk around for 3 hours with a giant rug burn on my face and didn't say one word to me.
That sounds like something I would do.
It sounds like when Camaro threw Joey over the ring post into the mob.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we had Jared Savage and Ace Anderson.
I'm trying to tread softly here. I like Jared a lot. He looks very different on posters than he does in real life.
Yeah, I agree.
But with that being said, I love the fact that I love that as the face collector, I love that he does a lot of offense in the face and neck region. I really appreciate that because you see a lot of guys who do not do that.
Yeah.
And I really like that he does. I love that he does the claw for the finish. That's
top for the claw.
Yeah. Well, and as the face collector, that's exactly what you should do. So, like, I love that. I was surprised when I met him because I thought he was taller. And I'm not trying to be negative towards him because I think he's a good kid. But that threw me for a loop the first time I met him because I was like,
right. Are you ready for this? So he's wrestled at 01.
I believe it.
And he wrestled DLC.
Oh, God. That had to be.
DLC beat him.
That's a fucking match, let me tell you. That had to be something worth seeing. I don't know if that's really, really good or really, really bad, but I want to watch it either way.
But yeah, that happened. Then we had Jackson Morgan, Ty Ice, and Jason Levi. I love Jason. I've seen Jason for a while, so I really like Jason. But
I had not seen Jason in years until Sunday. And Jason does not remember this, and I know Dalton does not either. But the first time I met them, I had a really rough match, and both of them shit all over my match to me. It was fine. No, it was fine. Everything they said was absolutely accurate. I guarantee Jason doesn't remember it. I bet Dalton doesn't either. But they crapped all over everything we did that night. And for the record, they were absolutely right. But they crapped all over everything we did that night.
We don't know too much about Jackson Morgan. Do you know anything about him?
I do not.
Okay. And then of course we talked about it earlier, Rico Jones and DeCobra, which
I watched that match. If you look, I'm in the crowd watching that match.
we heckled the shit out of Rico. I kind of felt bad.
Yeah, I usually don't do that, but I felt obliged to.
I'm glad I don't do commentary because there's a lot of times watching a match I said, oh fuck. Watching when I would see Rico do something and I'm like, Cobra's gonna hit him now.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. And he's gonna hit him hard. He's gonna hit him hard. Or kick him.
Right.
In your opinion, Kidd, what would you prefer? A strike or a kick from the Cobra? Like, which one's the lesser of two evils there?
I'm not fucking taking either one of them.
Correct. That is the correct answer.
Hit me.
Answer C, please.
C. I would take a chop from him. I know it would suck and it would hurt like hell before I take a kick because I've seen that man's legs. I don't want to be kicked by him. Hell no. That thing, he's got fucking tree trunk legs. There's the reason those pants are so damn baggy. It's because he's got fucking tree trunks in those pants. Fuck that.
And then, did you get to watch the tag team match? Because that one was
Trauma Unit and War Pigs.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What do you think of those guys?
I love Theo. I love wrestling Theo. I've only met Aaron and it was Aaron and Austin, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've only met them twice, but both times I've enjoyed their matches. I don't know much about either one of them on a personal level, and I don't have any personal interaction with them. I know that Aaron Atlas does make gear, and he made some gear for my friend Kidd Riot. But I don't know a lot about them personally. Devontae loves fucking with me. So I love Devontae, but also fuck Devontae because he loves messing with me. You will never meet anyone who likes talking shit to my face about me more than Devontae, but then will turn around and give me the biggest, happiest to see you hugs possible.
Right.
Theo, I love. I would wrestle Theo all the time. He is so much stronger than anyone realizes. This dude picked me up for a fall-away slam and threw me clear across the fucking ring because he is that damn strong.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I love Trauma Unit. I love Trauma Unit, but Devontae is also kind of an asshole.
Okay. So you talk about Theo and Devontae. What about Casey Jackson?
I love Casey. I've known Casey since I started wrestling. I love Casey on a personal level and on a wrestling level. If we were on the same show together and there's somewhere we can watch the show and be out of the way of the fans, you will see me and Casey sitting next to each other talking a ton of shit.
Reb, I'm telling you, we need the microphones on our shirts for the shows.
Yes.
Me and Casey is. I've known Casey for as long as I've been wrestling because he's been wrestling longer than me. First of all, he's the forever man because I keep waiting for his ass to retire. Because he's got to be like 57 at this fucking point, but he never will retire. And despite being God knows how old he is, the guy looks 25, which pisses me off.
AJ. Go ahead, Reb.
That's true. That is true. That is a true statement by AJ.
AJ says, of course you've known Casey that long. Casey has been wrestling since Methuselah was a baby.
I'm pretty sure Casey worked a scramble with Jesus back in the day. He's been wrestling that long.
The Jesus Scramble.
The Jesus Scramble.
We call KC the super vet. So yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Fucking yeah. I'm a little mad he doesn't have shirts that say that.
Not yet. Not yet. I bet he might eventually. Oh, see, because here's the thing. So I've been following Devontae, almost probably about his whole career. So, but he started doing this thing last year where it was all about the hip attack. He always kept doing the hip attack.
Oh yeah, well, because he's got that thick booty.
Well, so we started calling him Iron Cakes.
I mean, as you should.
We call him Iron Cakes, and then the move, I don't know what he calls it, but we call it the Devontenta when he drops down on
drops all that booty. Like
yep. And he doesn't it's full speed and
oh yeah. And like,
I use the air while I watch it.
I'm gonna be honest, I am a very heterosexual man, but I've looked at Devontae's butt more than I probably should have.
Care to admit.
Yeah. By far, guaranteed.
Well, it's got a tractor beam. You have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I can respect a good-looking booty no matter what it's on.
And you knew he broke somebody's nose with that, correct?
Yeah, I believe it because it's thick and it's firm.
Malkin.
He broke up B.A. Malkin's nose with his ass.
I believe it. That thing's thick. It's firm. Anyways, we're gonna move on from talking about Devontae's butt.
Yeah, we usually talk about it. It's all right. And then finally, the last match was Clayton Clark.
We.
Me. Then we got Clayton Clark versus Jimmy Carrot, and I'm sorry, but the ending to that match, chef's kiss.
Oh, I enjoyed. I actually did watch that whole match because again, it involved. I as much shit as I give Clayton and Carrot, I love both of them on a personal level and wrestling level. So yeah, I actually did watch all that, and I thought it was done really, really well. I think it was very good writing from bell to bell, and even the after post match stuff. Very, very good.
That's what we said. We said that was a fabulous ending.
Oh,
Fabulous.
absolutely. A great way to end the night.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get Carrot and Zay Gates at the next show,
Good.
sounds like.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a triple threat, honestly.
Well, I will say that regardless, triple threat or singles match, that's going to be very damn good.
It's going to be a good match, yeah.
No,
Although,
I'll say you want a triple threat because of your rule.
I do.
If
want
it's a triple threat, Carrot's not going to lose his belt.
Exactly. I have a rule. If it's a multi-man match, whoever the champ is that's walking in is more than likely walking out with it. Because about 90%, 80 to 90% of the time, that's the way it works. So.
Well, I hope Carrot loses it. Fuck him.
Yeah.
He's actually probably not far from me right now, which is funny to me that I'm just like shitting on him.
well,
every time we interview him, he's in the woods somewhere.
Yeah,
that's because they fucking think he lives there.
But, well, Kidd, we've had so much fun with having you on here.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again, please. This was actually incredibly fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We will again. But where can people catch you online?
Well, my Facebook profile, which I can just link, it is under my real name, which because Facebook got tired of me using fake names. I don't normally give my Instagram because it's fine. My Instagram is space, like outer space, and then Rudo, R-U-D-O. Yeah, I can't show you. I can't find it on my hand. It's tattooed on my arm. Anyways, Space Rudo. There is pictures of my face on it. It's fine. It's, I'm the kayfabe isn't what it used to be as far as masks go. But and then it's actually, I think it's just Space Rudo on everything. So because I firmly believe I'm from outer space.
Well, there you go. That works. All right. Well, Kidd, thank you so much again for being on. We look forward to having you back.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Back, ABW, hopefully sometime.
Yeah, I'll be on the next show. I don't want to say who I'm wrestling, but because I already know. But I'm actually incredibly excited for it.
Well, I might be switching up then because 01's running the same night that you guys are running. So.
Oh well, it won't be. That won't affect either one of us.
I didn't figure, but it might affect some things. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. So, but yeah, we look forward to having you on again, and we will be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a lovely evening.
You too. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Oh, that was so fun,
that was awesome.
Reb.
That was a good time.
I told you it would be.
Yes. It went way longer than I thought. It was almost an hour and a half, which is longer than most of our interviews go.
Hey, he wasn't talking. I wasn't going to stop him.
No, heck no. Well, Menders, let's pay some bills real quick, and then we're not going to hit everything on the list. We can save some of that for next week, but we'll do our all-in predictions, and then we'll hit our